Hello, CD827 students. My name is Jessica Bell, and I'm the Director of the Library and Instructional Design here at the Institute. And I'd like to talk to you about including controversial or challenged books in your classroom libraries and assignments. This is a topic that is near and dear to librarians' hearts everywhere. But first, let's talk about challenges. Parents, community members, school administrators can challenge or outright ban a book for a wide variety of reasons, but typically it comes down to some argument about protecting children. And so you need to be prepared to have such a challenge happen to you if it hasn't already in your careers. You want to be ready for it. Although you may say to yourself, because it's a little scary, you might say to yourself, well, I'll just avoid controversial books, right? No big deal. Well, there are two problems with that. The first is very practical in that it is very difficult to predict what books will provoke someone to challenge them. If you go to the American Library Association website, they have a whole section, and there should be a link to this in the module, about challenged books. So you can see the wide variety of books that have been challenged. The other reason that you don't want to avoid challenged books is that the American Library Association, they've been tracking this for a while, and they've come to the conclusion, a very disturbing conclusion, that the books most likely to be challenged are books that contain diverse content. Well, okay, so let's first pause and let me get the definition of what the American Library Association calls diverse content. They say it includes, but is not limited to, LGBTQIA, people of color, gender diversity, people with disabilities, which is a huge umbrella in and of itself, and ethnic, cultural, and religious minorities. So it really runs the gamut. Can you imagine trying to avoid books that had any of that content? So the problem with having a library that does not have that diverse content, and it is kind of twofold. There are two sides to the same coin. One is that you want your students to see themselves represented in the books that they're reading, right? At least in some aspect. And so avoiding all of that content means they won't. They won't be able to get that experience of identifying with characters. And then on the other side of that is that you want to expose your students to a variety of perspectives. And so without diverse content, they can't get that peek into another person's worldview, into their way of thinking. And what a powerful way to get someone to think outside their own head than through literature, through storytelling. So I hope these arguments have at least, if not convinced you, intrigued you enough to find out more information. And so I have more links in this module to help you with that. There's an organization called the National Council of Teachers of English. Sorry, a little bit of a spacing the name there. And it's a great organization. You should, if you're not familiar with them, you should take a look. And they have two statements that are relevant to this. They have a statement on classroom libraries. They also have a statement called Students' Right to Read. And both of these talk about the same kinds of topics I just did, but of course more in depth. And then they also provide a template for writing up rationales for the books you assign or have in your library. And now I realize it's probably not realistic to think you'll write up a full rationale for every single book in your classroom library, but the template could help you frame your thinking as you're selecting the books for your library, to help you prepare for those arguments. Finally, the last recommendation I would make is that if your school does have a librarian or a media specialist, that you connect with that person on this topic, because they could be a powerful ally for you. As I said, it's near and dear to librarians' hearts everywhere. While you're here in the program, however, if you have questions, please don't hesitate to get in touch with your librarians here. So you can go over to the library website and go to Ask a Librarian, and we are always happy to help.